Having received some requests to continue the Combat Companion series, I decided to make this next episode about Maria. While I don't think any of the other characters in this game are quite as complicated as Choo-Choo, there are definitely some important things to note about Maria. Starting with Zeebzin, it's a very powerful gear which, while it isn't the fastest gear on your team, can be built for strong physical offense with a power multiplier of 12, which is 2 higher than Veltal. It also has access to some powerful ether attack special options, including Missile Pod and Grav Cannon. These two attacks are very similar to Aerod's, though they do have a slightly lower power multiplier. Regardless, Maria can easily fill the party magic nuke role with these, allowing her to hit all enemies for non-elemental damage. Overall, I believe Zeebzin is a very straightforward gear, and coming equipped with parts above the curve for her joining time, it's definitely worth putting her on the team. For her gear accessories, and considering how strong Ether is in this game, I'd recommend setting her up with an Ether build primarily. For this, having Zeebzin equip 3 power magics would be optimal. Maria's gear has a very high weight capacity of 1440, meaning that you can safely equip 3 power magics weighing 360 each for a total of 1080 without losing any speed. This is one of her benefits over Vierge, as it only has a capacity of 600, meaning you'll be stuck with 1 power magic and 2 E-circuits if you don't want to be weighed down. Noting that, Zeebzin can reach an Ether Amp stat of 12 points higher than Vierge. Now, with that all out of the way, we can move on to the ground combat, which is where things get a bit more complicated. Maria is one of this game's gimmick characters, which means that she doesn't have access to any death blows, but in exchange gains access to a unique mechanic. Maria really isn't a physical fighter though, so not having access to death blows isn't a huge deal. So, Maria's unique trait is that her spells are tied to her gear Zeebzin and its stats. Something worth noting is that not all of Maria's spells are ether-based, some use Zeebzin's strength instead. It's fairly intuitive though, the physical attack spells being Robo Punch and Robo Kick are physical, while the projectiles Robo Beam, Robo Missile, and Grav Gun are all ether-based. Now, the calculations for these are a bit complex, but I'll show them on the screen now. Worth noting here, especially for the ether controls, is that the Ether Amp stat applies to Maria's base ether, meaning that she's dealing gear level ether damage while on foot. So not only do the power magics help her deal more damage while in gear, but Maria is a unique case where gear accessories also affect her while on foot. For her own accessories though, you should equip the fairly obvious Ether Doubler. Of course, worth mentioning from the formula is that Maria's Ether stat is applied to her physical moves, which is a unique case within the game. Outside of the Ether Doubler, you might want to equip the Economy Ether just to counter the double SP costs, as Grav Cannon does cost a lot. With her free slot, I'd recommend equipping some armor to keep her alive. Late game, the Goddess Robe is a great option, as it's female only and adds 10 Ether in addition to its 80 defense. That said, that's really all there is to Maria. She's a fairly simple character to play once you understand how her spells work in tandem with Zeebzin. I hope you've enjoyed this video, or at least found it insightful. I will likely continue this series, targeting Billy next. Thank you all for watching, and have a great day.